Welcome to the Land Your Bet Sports Betting Podcast. It's Thursday. We've only got 5 games today. We are coming off 12 games and a lot of picks. So let's just get right into those real quick, and then we will get into the 5 best bets that I have for today. Starting with how we did yesterday, a lot of games on the slate, a lot of bets on the slate here that we made. A bunch of ladders, as you can see, Bruce Brown. Everything on the first slide that I brought you guys yesterday in the first video hit. Except for the Bruce Brown 18 plus points. Everything else that is green hit in the first video. Everything else that's red did not hit from the second video. So that did lose us some units. On the day, we were still up plus 0.2 units. As you can see, all these bets, and you can obviously go through them at your leisure if you'd like to. But on the season, that brings us to, like I said, plus 0.2 units up means we're still up 22 units on the season with these Playa props. I have 3 Playa props here, really 4-ish for you, and then a couple of sides and totals as well from one game. So bear with me because we're going to try to raise that sides and totals number from minus 7.8 all the way up. So hopefully about 5.8, man, probably about 7 or 6 rather, but that's what we'll go for here in the 5 bets I've got. So let's get right into it with the first bet here, and it's an under for Kyrie Irving, 43.5 PRA. It's minus 105, and I like it so much that I'm getting 1.3 units on it here for you guys, at least for me, rather, I should say. Because my thing is, versus the Knicks, get the heck out of here, man. Like, not against one of the best defensive, if not right now, the best defensive team in the league without Mitchell Robinson for the season. Top 10 at limiting point guards in terms of points and rebounds, mostly. You can get some assists against them, but I like adding the bulk of all of the stats here for points, rebounds, and assists for Kyrie because he can't do it all. He's going to have to try to do it all in some fashion. But when I say all, I mean all of the types of stats. He's either going to get a bunch of points or he's going to get a bunch of assists, but not both. And the rebounds, maybe he'll come in and get some, but I'm not worried about him getting like more than maybe 3, max 4. The 30.5 points is wild. Just because Luka's out, like, doesn't mean Kyrie's just going off now. So 5 of 6 games that he's played without Luka since joining Dallas, under in those, right? Only averaging 25 a game, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists in those 6 games. One of them, the only one that he went over, was against the Lakers in 39 minutes. No LeBron, depleted team that night as well. So he went over and had a really good game in a lot of minutes in that one, but that's not going to be the case here. He's also not going to have a rim running center in Derek Lively, which is why we took Luka assists under the other night, which wasn't that sweaty, but it was helped by the fact that he got hurt, obviously, in that game. Still played all of it. Now he's out. Fewer assists are still there for the point guard who's going to be Kyrie in this game, the point and shooting guard and whatever else you want to say, because he'll have the ball in his hands for the entirety of the game, right? And without the rim running center, there's fewer assists for that position as well. So we go under 43.5 for Kyrie. You can see with the 1.3 units, it's my favorite bet. This is a timid bet that I'm making because I think it's highly likely that Chet goes under because I don't think Chet plays a lot. So I'm going under 28.5 PRA, points, rebounds, and assists combined for him. And I'm putting 0.75 units on it. So a little bit less than a full unit on that one because of the fact that it's Chet and he does this a lot, especially as of late. However, on a back-to-back against a really bad Portland team, I'm predicting the blowout here. That's really what we're going for. Is not only will this team blow out the Blazers and be able to play guys like Kayson Wallace and Isaiah Joe a lot more, they're also going to not necessarily want Chet to play on the back-to-back too much. In the back-to-back games that he's played this season, 16 points per game and 4.5 boards, 1 assist as well. So at about 21.5 PRA, plus, let's say 22 PRA, plus the 24.5 minutes, right? Not even 25 minutes a game. And the only one that he played 30 or over 25 was against the Knicks in a game that they really, really wanted to win. And we're playing a really good Knicks team, right? And at this point, this is not Portland. Portland will not have DeAndre Ayton. They are already terrible. They're worse when DeAndre Ayton is out. They let up a ton of points, even more, 122 a game that they allow when DeAndre Ayton doesn't play. So there's going to be a lot of points available for the Thunder. And I do think their team total is a good bet at over 124.5. I think that's going to hit tonight as well. Should have put that on the screen because I bet that, and I didn't put it out here for you guys, but I put a half a unit on them to get 125 tonight, the Thunder. But I don't think it's coming from Chet because I don't think he and the starters really need to play. You look at the back-to-backs and Kayson Wallace, Isaiah Joe, who I mentioned, Ousmane Deng, even if he's available, all these guys played 20 to 25 minutes in those games. Chet and all the other dudes, all their minutes drop about 5 minutes below what they normally play. It's a lot of time to not be on the floor, right? So he goes from 30 a game to 25 a game, not even in these back-to-back situations. So that's what I'm going to keep going with, is like there's no reason, with the amount of depth that Coach Daigneault has for the Thunder and how often he plays his reserves anyway, you would feel pretty good that like this one is an ideal situation for him to play a lot of guys. So under for Chet, under 28.5 PRA on that one. Dante DiVincenzo, over 17.5 PRA for him, -105, and a full unit for Dante to go over on this bet right here. He's gone over in 5 of 6 since the trade. One of those was a blowout game that he didn't against the 76ers that he barely played in that one. 17 minutes he got in that one. And he's getting about 26 now per game since OG came over to the Knicks. That's led to 17 points per game. So that's partly why I love this so much, is I do think he's doing a lot of the scoring, and he's been the beneficiary of a lot of open looks from the other guys like Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle, getting the defense to collapse upon them. And now they actually have open good shooters like himself and OG Anunoby, who are two dudes that are a high percentage catch and shoot guys, right? And that's what Dallas is going to continue to do. There's a reason that they allow the second most rebounds per game, points per game, and seventh most assists per game to shooting guards. They leave them open a lot. They guard the point guard. They really hound the point guard a bit more. And honestly, I say hound. They're a bad defense overall, but they put more pressure on the point guard, and they really leave open shooters when their defense doesn't rotate well at all. Continues to not do that, and really never has done that. Shout out Jason Kidd. The catch and shoot is there as a result, right? And so Dante is someone who does that at a very high rate. So does oftentimes we'll see Josh Hart, and obviously OG will be more in that position than even Josh Hart as the guy that they want on the receiving end of these open catch and shoot looks, right? So against Dallas, that's going to be available for Dante. Plus, he just keeps getting involved in the rebounds and the assists as well with a really nice rate. So if he gets the 25 minutes in this game, which I do think he will, because he's one of the defenders that they're going to throw at Kyrie the whole time between he and Josh Hart and OG Anunoby. There's really good defenders for Kyrie in this game, and he's going to be one of them that gets, like I said, at least 25 minutes in this one. So we like the 18 combo stats there, PRA for Dante. And now we're sticking in this Knicks game because I really feel like the Knicks got this thing, right? And so we'll start with the under, which I like a little bit less than the I'm going to get to the fifth one. I should have put this one first because I like this one more, and it's got a full unit on it for the Knicks to win by 3.5, -110. They're on a 5-game win streak. They have the 120 offensive rating and the best, obviously, defensive rating in that time, a 100 D rating. Funny what OG can do when he comes in after you lose Mitchell Robinson, when they were playing a lot faster before, right? And they were playing with a lot more pace and a lot less defense. And now it's a little bit of the opposite. Definitely the pace is down, but they without Derek Lively, without Luka, it's just there's not much in the. And also Grant Williams is questionable. There's just not much out there for Dallas. Like Tim Hardaway Jr. is going to have to go absolutely bananas for them to win this game, and it's possible, but I don't see them sticking around like that. Plus, I think Jalen Brunson does have a bit of the I'm going to win in Dallas thing going here. Like, say what you want about playing pop psychologist. This is a revenge game for sure. And like, you didn't want to sign me. You want to complain afterwards about why I left because my dad was in New York. Like, you didn't pay me. So now I left. And yeah, my dad went there and that helped me go there. But like, I would have stayed here for the right money because my dad wasn't even a coach for the team when you had the opportunity to give me good money. Moving past that, he's going to, like I said, there's a slew of defenders for Kyrie, and he's not going to have help. So if he doesn't have the help and you're relying on like Seth Curry and Tim Hardaway Jr. to carry this thing against a really good Knicks defense that has limited threes to the tune of 9.8 made for their opponent per game in the last 6, right? Like they're the best 3-point defense alongside Memphis, who's been as good as them, which by the way, we just saw Memphis beat Dallas with that amazing 3-point defense, right? So that's why I like the Knicks to win. And it is correlated to the under, which I like slightly less for half a unit. In the 4 games this season without Luka, 110 points per game for Dallas. They've been going under a bunch more anyway, as we've seen as of late, because they have not been the same team that they were when they started the season. And say what you want, they were only good to start the season because they were so good on offense. And they are not that right now, and they won't be that without Luka, who's a walking offense. The 110 per game that they played includes a game against awful Portland where they had 139, where they won 139 to 103 against the Portland Portland, I should say, because they got no D. And now they're coming in against a team that is way better at defending the 3. And we know how reliant the Mavericks are on the 3-point line because that's the way that they play with Luka is you're a human computer. So once you get by your guy, Now you either got the opportunity to go up or go all the way to the rim or find one of your shooters because you know where they are. It's programmed in your head and you have the vision to see where they are at all times. Similar concept for Kyrie. It's not like it changes now because Kyrie's out there. He's just not as good at Luka at doing that and what Luka does so well. The three-pointers not going in and not being open for them are going to be a problem. They're going to run. The Knicks are going to run you off the line. They're happy to do that with the help that they now have with Jay Randall and OG, who's actually a rim protector as well. So they're in a good spot to be able to press the guards on the outside for Dallas. That's going to lead to fewer points. They're going to slow the game down on offense and not really have the transition, right? They're back to a 97 pace in their last 5, which is 5th slowest after they were playing at like a 102 pace for a little bit because they didn't have the option of slowing it down without as much rim protection and good defense. Now they have that. They can go right back to their Tom Thibodeau, Nick ways and go ahead and go under a lot more frequently. So 234 is too high and half a unit is really good. Honestly, I'm starting to talk myself into that just as much as the game for the Knicks to win by 3.5, but I'll keep the half a unit. I already put it on there. I don't know if I'm going to put another half on the under yet because I already got the full unit on this as well. So taking a quick look, as that is all the time that we have in this one. Kyrie to go under 43.5 PRA, my favorite bet, -105 DraftKings, 1.3 units. Chetster under 28.5 PRA. This is dangerous after we just got burned by Miles Turner last night. I know, so I don't blame any of you for not riding along with Chet under, but the history tells us that like he's not going to get the minutes and that they don't need him tonight, so they won't use him. Dante DiVincenzo over 17.5 PRA. Let me back up. That bet you get. Chet Holmgren. I also like the idea of Isaiah Joe and Kason Wallace getting theirs tonight. If Kason Wallace comes out with like a 9.5 PRA, 10.5, if you can get it, I say take Kason Wallace. I can't put it on here because I don't know what's going to happen with it. Same thing with Derek White. I really don't want to take a loss for Derek White last night because I didn't get anything on it, but I gave it out. So if any of you lost as a result, I have to take the L. Whatever. You guys are still following along, and I appreciate it. So Kason Wallace over 9.5 PRA if you can, and Isaiah Joe, I like the idea of him hitting over 2.5 threes in this game if that is his prop. Might be 1.5 because he's a bench player, so we don't know, and we might not even get his props, but hopefully we get them sometime before 10 minutes before tip. There's really no injuries. We'll see what happens. Kason Wallace and Isaiah Joe, like both of them as well. Dante DiVincenzo over 17.5 PRA. The Knicks to win by 4, and the Knicks and Mavs game to go under 234 total. And like I said, that's all the time I have. So I appreciate you all following along. Continue to do so. Subscribe to that page if you would. Like the video. It's super helpful. We had a good day yesterday. If you followed along with the first video, you had another undefeated day. Overall, though, still in the last like 4 nights, dude, we're still at like an incredible record. I have to finish putting it together and get it over to you guys with the units. But feeling really good. We're going to smoke tonight. I feel really good about these picks as well. Make sure that you stay tuned on social media. That's where I'm going to be following with the Kason Wallace pick, the Isaiah Joe pick. We'll see how that goes. And once we get those props up, I'll talk about it. So happy betting tonight. And until I see you next, happy betting.